What is up, everyone? Hello, hello, hello. Reminder, if you guys would want to watch on Twitch, you guys can. I am live over there. If you guys would prefer to watch on YouTube, I am also live here. I will be reading both chats, so don't worry about it. Just whatever you guys feel comfortable being on. Try to continue to do that, so that way you guys can enjoy yourselves. Today, you're going to be doing Heroes Huddle. You guys know the drill. We do free replay reviews. For everybody, if you guys are in my Discord, there's a free replay review tab. Go ahead and go there and just put your replay there. At the end of the season, it will reset just because I can't watch the replays anymore. So season 6, I won't be able to watch season 5. So make sure you guys put your replays there before season 6 because it is going to go bye-bye after that happens. And it seems like it's going to be in about 12 days. So make sure you get yours out. If you're not part of my Discord, there should be a link in the description below. You guys can go ahead and join it there. As always, members do have priority. So if you're a member of the YouTube channel, you have priority over everyone else in terms of being first. However, we do want to make sure that people get seen. So if you already had one and you have prio, you're going to have to wait until a few other people have had theirs because you already had yours or you had multiple already. Once we run out, then we'll go back to the prio. But anyway, now that that's all out the way, how you guys doing? Hope you guys have had a great weekend. I guess the weekend's still going on, huh? Today's Saturday. I hope you guys are having a great weekend. I hope you guys are ready to go back to the normal on Monday if you guys work or maybe school or anything like that. I think everybody starts back normal on Monday. So if you guys have had your breaks and stuff like that, I hope you're ready to go back to the real world again afterward. I had a pretty good weekend. Well, I guess it wasn't weekend, but like break time. Weekend is still going. I streamed yesterday. I may stream again today after this and play some games, but I'm not sure how I feel. Okay. Chaos, hello. Lauren, hello. Good to see you guys. Cameron, first and ready for duty. I like that. I see you. I see you. You're first on Twitch? I mean, true. You are first on Twitch, Chaos. You had a high school reunion with friends? That's pretty interesting. That is pretty interesting. Did I reach it yesterday? No. Every single time we got one win away, we would get trolled. Well, not every time because we had them before hit then too, but more of my losses that day were due to trolls than actual losses. And I didn't want to keep going into the night, so I said I'll just stop. It was pretty easy to get to Celestial 3, well, one win away from it. So I was like, I might as well just do this another day if we're just having a lot of trolls today. It must have been because it was Friday. Maybe people are getting off work. Maybe people are just low on like, what is it? Low like on patience, you know what I mean? So people are just like, I'm off work. I'm, you know, people have bad days or whatever. Maybe that's what's causing it. I don't know. There's a lot more than usual. A lot more than usual. All right, let me take a look. Let's see which ones we haven't done yet, and we'll try to pop one into this system. I think I'm going to start deleting people's replay reviews, only because that way I can keep track of which ones I did. So I'm going to start like just deleting them. That way I can keep track. Because eventually it's just going to get really piled up, and I'm not going to know which ones I did. I don't know if I did this one for you, Chaos. Did we do I want to understand on the focus high mobility characters better so that they don't stop my team for playing the game? Honestly, that Spidey was too good. When I soloed, ulted him as no more. No, I don't think we went over that one. I don't think we went over that one. I'll delete the ones I know for sure that I did already. This is good too because it gives some people some chance to get notified and come on in and take their seat. Weekends be that way sometimes. You're starting your break. You worked on both holidays, Cameron? No. Not like this, Cam. I hope you get that much needed rest. You deleted your own after I covered it? Oh, that's a smart way to go about it. Just delete your own once it's covered. Yeah, it's just a way that I can keep track so I don't keep doing the same ones. I don't think I will. I think I'll remember. But just on the off chance that I don't. Just on the off chance. Puka still has that troll captain. I'm not doing that one until Puka's actually in the chat. Because he does not play cap. So he's trolling. Three days in Plat 2, you're convinced it's worse than gold. Get to Grandmaster. You'll be giga convinced. That ain't nothing worse than that. It's so awful. I see, Nash, that you have two. I think we went over one of your DPS ones, but I don't know if we went over your support one. This match was where I was focusing on safer positioning and line of sight. Sadly, it's also one of the. Oh no, we did watch that one. We did watch that one. Cool. This is my only full DPS game I've played in comp, so my mechanics mostly want to make sure reliability for full DPS. I don't think we actually watched that one. Biblical Dagger Doctor Shooter Mission Fantastic. We did watch that one. That one wasn't yours, Nash. That was someone else. Hollywood KT. Did we do yours? This far looks like an ego pick, but I wouldn't pick a gameplay. I don't think we did this one. I don't think we did this one. This one's flex, though. Make sure you guys put roles, not flex, because I don't know specifically what you're talking about when you do it. So just make sure you're like, oh, I played this role this game. Because when you guys say flex, I don't really know like what I'm going to be looking at. You know, the goal is to make it so that it's easier for me to see what you guys want reviewed. But if I have to search, then I don't really know what you're asking for. I thought we did cover your Invisible Woman game. Are you sure? Maybe it was Chill Murray's. Maybe it was Chill Murray's. Maybe you're right. Well, Nash, I deleted it. Please don't hate me. Oh, wait, hold up. Unless you posted another one. No, you posted that your most recent one was Vanguard. Okay, yeah, I deleted your other one. I have your duelist here, but I deleted the support that was on top of that. Nash, don't hate me. I thought we did it already. So it was Murray's fault. It was Murray's fault. He had 2 Invisible Woman games. I guess I could show you what I'm looking at. There's no reason for you guys not to see. Not that serious. That way you guys aren't staring at this screen for no reason. You guys can see what I'm actually looking at while I sift through. I definitely deleted that. I deleted that literally like a troll. I'm sorry. Don't hate the player, hate the streamer. But yeah, I'm going through it now. So you had one on top of this, and it was the support one. I'm not sure if I picked this one. I don't think I did because it said flex. Like I said, remember, if you guys do it, don't put flex, put a role, so that way I know what I'm looking at. Because I don't know what role you actually want me to look at. Maybe you swapped roles throughout the game, you know? It's just easier. So yeah, I'm not sure, but let me take a look. If it's a Vanguard, I'll do it because I've been seeing this one pretty frequently. And I haven't been doing it because I wasn't sure what role it was. Okay, it's support. All right, I know that. I know that now. Blood Moon, hello. Yeah, if you want to replay, you join my Discord and there's a little replay review tab. That's what I'm looking through right now. Do you remember the code? Do you remember the code, Nash? Surely, if you only play once or twice a week, you have the game still in your history. Surely, Nash. Yeah, like I have the codes memorized. I'm saying that it could be. It could be in there. All right, what game was this? Oh, you put 2. Well, let's see what role it is. Okay, this is a tank one. All right. Clouds, I think we did clouds. Yeah, we did do clouds. It was playing Cap. Jedi Chungus, I don't think we did yours. We did Raisa's. We didn't do Jax. We did. Oh yeah, that's what I thought. Nash. It was Murray, but it wasn't. Oh, here you go. But you guys weren't looking at anything because it wasn't moving. Poppin', you're a freaking troll, bro. I'm sorry, guys. You guys are probably like, what, Poppin'? It's not moving, bro. It's just sitting there. I don't get you. I don't understand your logic, fam. There you go. Now you guys can see. Problem solved. I'll be your grandparents take down the Christmas lights. Oh no. That's okay, Nash. Look, to be fair, next time you have one, you know I'll watch it. To be fair, Nash. Be fair. But you do have this one. You do have your Vanguard one here still. So that's that. All right, we're gonna take a peek at. We're gonna take a peek at American here. We'll see if we could do just both. What is this question? So he says, we won this game, but it was super close and honestly pretty stressful. There was a mantis diving my backline. False? What? And cooking them. I'm sure there was something I could have done to make things easier, this an easier win, but I'm not sure what that thing was. If you see me standing around, I'm typing. I know I shouldn't be, and I'm wasting time, but it's a bad habit from Smite. Respect. So other than that, personality flaw. Okay. So we'll see what this is about, and then we'll take a peek at this one, which says, we lost this match, but I have zero clue what went wrong. I think we might have had gotten diffed, possibly, but if I'm making the mistake, okay, that one will be really fast. Okay, we'll do those. All right. Yeah, pretty much what Chaos says. At the top of it, you'll see like the example, or you can just copy someone else's, and you'll see how they put it. But just make sure you put a role and a reason. All right. You guys know what? Today, guess what? Y'all ain't ready. Today, shaders. Shaders are shaded. Y'all know what that means? No lag. What's up? What's up? Y'all ain't ready. Oh, you started off as a DPS. Okay, we'll see. This crosshair is nuts, brother. I guess it makes sense considering she shoots acorns. What are you shooting at? Oh, it's Groot walls. It just didn't load in. Okay. All right. First things first. I don't mind this, but just remember when playing Squirrel Girl, try to get your angles down. It's not necessarily something you have to be super on point about, but just remember that you want to try to get into some weird off angles, not something where you're just running it down with your team. Obviously, you can get hit with stray shots, which you want to avoid, but you can create some crazy angles. If you think about Squirrel Girl, let me go ahead and get my pen out. My handy dandy note pen. This is the power of why Squirrel Girl is a problem, along with like Moon Knight and others other characters that have space creation tools. And how you carry with these characters, you're gonna have to learn how to create that space with said tools. So I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you because I'm a nice guy. All right, so your acorns, they land, right? They create a big AoE, right? Just like Moon Knight or Namor kind of has it, but it's not the same. It's more of like pressure to push them back. You know, but a lot of DPS has ways to move people around. And that's what you want to do. So if you want to be a really, really, really good poke type DPS player, you want to figure out where exactly your tanks are trying to push them, and you want to try to line it up. Whether it be wherever you're angling yourself, you want to try to angle yourself in that direction. So if we were playing Squirrel Girl, it looks something like this, where it's like, well, we know they're going this way, right? They're being pushed this way. So we would want to try to make it so our acorns land over here. So it's guaranteed hits because they're going to have to walk into it. Or if you see your tanks are struggling, what you could do is you could try to land your acorns around here. So that way it pushes them back while keeping the tanks in the front, right? That's what you're doing with your poke. Or you could do the same thing and just push them in the front, which makes them take more damage, and then they have to retreat because they're being pelted with so much damage. Now, depending on what healers they have, your poke is more or less effective. If they have an invisible woman, she can heal people pretty quickly, plus she can block your acorns. But if they're running something like an Ultron and a Mantis, they don't have enough healing to really deal with that and the rest of your team. So certain situations require different methods to push them through. Given that their team right now consists of Rocket and Mantis, and they don't really have any shields or anything, it's pretty much working exactly how it looks like. You can shoot the front. They don't have enough sustain. They don't have shields to block the damage. They don't have enough healing to replenish their HP before they start getting shredded. So you most likely will be able to keep this up and keep pushing willy-nilly. But I'm only explaining this because sometimes it doesn't work like that, and you're going to need to figure out what angles you can be at to make it better, because just shooting them from the front like this isn't really going to cut it all the time. Again, similar, right? If we went over here and we just thought about our shots, look right here, we can line it up. Get a little bit lower. Okay, we can line it up, right? Line it up, shoot through that little hole right there. Right here. I think you can shoot through that. Shoot through that little hole, and you're landing the shots. Like, this is what makes Squirrel Girls annoying. It's not the fact that her damage. It's like real Squirrel Girl players make games unplayable because for some reason, they have the geometry of a god, and they know exactly which angles to shoot from to land on you. It's nuts. No pun intended. And I can't stand those. But if you want to be a really, really good Squirrel Girl, that's what they do. It's not just about frontline poke, but it's about really getting those angles where it's like, how do you even move away from this? Like, how do you even protect yourself from this? You know what I mean? Same thing with Iron Man 2. Yep, exactly. Same thing with Iron Man 2. You are correct. Diving mantis is wild. Imagine loading your shaders before look. Sometimes I forget, but I didn't this time. You are like a freaking melee mode Squirrel Girl. Respect, respect. Is that noise coming from the skin? I've never heard this skin in play. You are all over the place. You are schmoving. So when you're playing poke characters, generally speaking, you don't want to play like that. You just want to camp. You just want to sit. You just want to sit in a spot and camp. You only move when you have to. Right? Basically, you don't want to make your games harder than they have to be. Even though this is I'm waiting for you to go on tank. Actually, I don't even know if you played tank this entire time. Yeah, you're like giga aggressive. You don't ever do this. This does not work. You need to nip this in the bud really quickly. This will stop working because you'll just run in and get one shot repeatedly. It's not even like you're not landing shots. It's just you're getting very close. Are you a keyboard? You're not a keyboard player. Usually when I do reviews or coach keyboard and mouse players, generally they press W the most and they like go forward all the time. A lot less controller players tend to do that unless you play like Call of Duty or something. But yeah, you definitely just stop trying to be so up close and personal and you'll be all right. Because the rest of the gameplay is fine. But you're not a melee character. So what I think you should be doing from here on out is looking for spots that are nice and cozy, right? Where you can land shots without actually having to do anything but angle. So maybe even somewhere up here. It's pretty nice, right? You have the lip right here to help you out. All right, you walk back, bam, bam, and you just keep shooting. Boom, boom, boom. It's really hard to take you out, and it's very easy for you to take them out. You can even start hitting acorns on that truck there, and it will bounce to the right. What noise? It was like a synthetic noise. It was weird. I don't know if that's just her ult, though. Or if it was somebody else's skin. Oh, it's her skin. It's her skin when she goes. It's like a race car noise or a race soundtrack. But again, we're doing the same thing. Just rinse and repeat of being super, super melee range. I don't know if you feel like it's easier for you to land shots if you get closer. I mean, theoretically it is, but you don't have to. The thing is, Squirgle doesn't have fall off range or fall off damage. Her fall off damage comes from the blast radius. So like the center is here, right? And the fall off damage comes from around. Her fall off damage in distance isn't a thing. She doesn't have actual fall off distance. Stop myself. I'm sorry, Nash. We'll watch it. I promise. We'll watch it. You posted your review last Saturday. Will it be reviewed today? It doesn't really matter when it's posted. But yours specifically, I think it was a DPS, right? I was going to look at it after this one. Well, after their second one, because they wanted me to look at another one too. This is better. This is better. Right? You're not... Okay. Well, thank God you didn't go up there. This is pretty much it, though, right? You find yourself in a little cozy spot. It's very hard to deal with you. And in order for them to deal with you, they have to come get you. This is what makes poke characters so irritating. Because it's so hard to approach them. And by the time you get to them, you probably are half HP anyway. And then by the time that happens, they're KO'd. With Gambit, I'll give you a little bit more leeway for it. But yeah, you see how deep you are for no reason? Like, even if you got the KO, it doesn't really help because you're going to be KO'd for 10 seconds. Or is it 20? No, it's 10 seconds. Okay. I don't know why I thought it was 20. Overtime? You're KO'd for 10 seconds, and then it takes about 10 to 20 seconds to walk back. Which means you're out of a fight for 30 seconds. And I'm pretty sure your team, somebody is going to get wiped within 30 seconds. Nobody just sits there and AFKs for 30 seconds. So every time you get yourself KO'd, you're intentionally causing your team to have to 5v6 for 30 seconds. And how many times did we get KO'd? We got KO'd 4 times. So that is going to be 2 minutes off the map. Max. 2 minutes off the map. You know how many fights you can be a part of in 2 minutes? Then you have to factor in your team having to... You have to factor in, like, maybe your team gets picked off and then they get KO'd. Then you're waiting an extra 10 to 20 seconds for them to respawn, walk back, and that it stacks, right? And you're wasting so much time just because we got picked off first by being aggressive. So you really have to put that kind of in your back pocket there. There's really 2 things that I think that are worth speaking about. Oh, we're playing Angelina now. What are you, a freaking Puka fan? Literally playing both his characters. If you whipped out Penny, I'd be concerned. All right, let's see. I'm rusty and crusty. Any advice? I would just play normals until you get your muscle memory back. Once you get your muscle memory back, then you can hop into ranked. But if you don't have your muscle memory, I'd chill out. Chill out in that good quick play. You can play with friends, so it's a lot less stressful. I'm not gonna lie, your like movement is pretty solid. The thing is, though, it doesn't seem like there's really any decision making to what you're doing. You're just kind of like doing it to stay relevant, and I don't mind that. But if you don't have any thought to what you're doing, you're probably gonna get KO'd. So I like the movement. I like the mechanics. Nothing's wrong with that. But just when you decide to go in like that, just think about why, and then what happens if it doesn't work. If you could just do that, it'd be a lot smoother. It kind of just looks like you're hoping your healers heal you. Otherwise, you get KO'd. And we don't want to be in that situation. You're going back to try to deal with Venom. So I wouldn't even worry about that Venom in that situation. I mean, right now your team is pretty much run over, so not much you can do. But let's just say the Venom was back there and your team was still doing fine. In a situation like this, especially as a tank, you have to think about how Venom functions. And when it comes to Venom, he goes in, does whatever, right? And then he flies back out. This means if you're a tank and you decide to do what you just did, in a perfect world, like I said, your team is okay. You're going to just lose space because they're just going to chase you. And then you have to try to regain all the space you just left. This is why tanks don't do the little sit on my backline and babysit thing. They're not able to really play the game. They'll just give up space after space after space. So what you did, I don't mind because your team lost the fight anyway. You're just kind of trying to salvage what you guys lost. But in the future, should your team be okay and you notice someone is diving your backline, you should not be looking to deal with that. Unless, of course, your other tank is chilling. But your tank is Thor, so he can't really hold much. Yeah, with the ult. I mean, there wasn't much you could do there. I know you're trying to do something, but like realistically, once Rocket ulted, what do you... What you could have done, though, which I would have liked a lot more, is I would have liked for you to farm your ultimate during that rocket ult. That would have been a lot more consistent. So, a little bit beforehand. A little bit beforehand. Okay, a little bit more. So you see here, after he does this and he ults, you know you can't do much. Just slam down and start punching. This will allow you to get your ult faster. Because right now you don't have it. But this is the great way for every character to support DPS, whatever. If you do have a match ult like this, don't look at it like you just can't play the game, even though realistically you can. Look at it as like a way to farm your ult faster, because nobody's getting KO'd, but you can still, start punching things. Just look for the easiest target and start wailing on them, at least for the whole duration. You can get your ult faster, you can be ready for the next fight. Because going around doing that doesn't really do much. You're not really getting any ult off of that. And yeah. Oh, good block. Not much you can do, like I said. I feel like that was kind of a rough spot regardless. If this works, you're nuts. Are they just not focusing you? What? Wait a second. Bro, if I did that, I guarantee I'd be one shot. You must not be getting shot. Let me see. I only ask because this is kind of a coin flip play. This is something like only works. Oh, they're focused on Rogue. Wait, no, that's their character. What are they focused on? Am I looking at the wrong team? Oh, you guys have 3 tanks. Okay. Oh, they're just missing. Oh, they have 3 tanks. What the flip-flop is happening? Okay, that's why you survived. I was like, what? There's no way. But I just didn't know that we had 3 tanks. Okay. Proceed. Proceed. You know, you don't get the lifesteal unless you have that little AoE thing underneath you. So just be sure that you have that. If you don't have it, just fly away. He was right. He is typing. I didn't even realize it until now that they had 3 tanks. It was like, how did you just not get KO'd? So in a situation like this, you know that they have 3 tanks, which means that you're most likely not going to get hurt that much. You can dive that backline and just be a nuisance for them. They have a lot more push potential because they're running 3 tanks, and you guys don't have a lot of stop potential, especially because you're a flying one. Oh, you guys don't even have 3 tanks anymore. You only have 1 or 2. Well, 1 because you're flying. But what you could do is just ignore those 3 tanks and just try to do your best to hang out in that backline. I know you're trying to knock them off, but like there's not much you can do. They have 3 healers. You don't do any damage. So your best bet is to just go back there and see if you can start some fights. Yeah, pretty much that. I would have done it earlier, but pretty much that, yeah. You're gaming. You're gaming. You're gaming. You're gaming. Cool. Yeah, just that. That's exactly what I was talking about. In a situation like that, you have 3 tanks that are not gonna get. You're not gonna do much to. You have to go to that back line and pick some fights. She's better at it than like Cap is, which I'm jealous about, but it is what it is. Hey, Freddy, how you doing? Hello, hello. It's going fine. We're just looking at some replays. Nice. Well played. Yeah, when opportunities present itself, look for that knockoff. Otherwise, focus on just trying to... Oh, wow, she really was diving your back line. I'm going to have to watch that for learning purposes. What happened? Bro, she gaming. Bro, she... Oh, God. Oh. Not gonna lie, that only worked because there's 3 healers on your team, on their team. But she was gaming. So when you slam, think about it like you're playing. I don't know if you play the Hulk, but think about it like that. Whereas when you hop in, you don't necessarily want to hop in the front of the team. You want to dive down in the middle or behind. Most of the time, it is better to dive down in the middle because what it does is it separates both of them. So let's just say, they're all here. That's the back line, that's the front line. If you dive here, it means that they have to turn around and deal with you, or they just keep pushing and you get to deal with the back line yourself, right? The thing about diving in the front is you're not really doing anything. And it could help pressure them back if you can. But if it doesn't work, you're just going to get one shot by the entire team because you literally drop down in front of everybody. If you drop down behind them, it's better than the front. But the problem with this one is they can technically just ignore you and just keep walking forward and keep pushing. And you're behind them and your team you're basically given a 6v5. So generally speaking, if you can help it, try your best to dive in the middle. So that way it's a little bit better for everybody instead of in the front or in the back. Unless, again, your goal is to push them back. We can dive in the front if you want. It was nice they both ult at the same time. Oh, we swapped to Mr. Fantastic. Okay. This skin is freaking hilarious, man. I don't even know. I don't even say it's Mr. Fantastic. Like, for real? Like, for real, I feel like it's like a YouTuber or something, dude. I don't even think that's much. Every time I see it, I think it's like a fake skin. Just looks like some YouTuber. Swear. I like the idea, but your whole team just got wiped. There's no real reason to use your ultimate. They're just gonna walk you guys down anyway. Please play me for education, bro. Don't be friendly. We actually had a lot to talk about. I didn't know which role you played, but you started off with Squirrel Girl, then you went to Angela, then you went to him. Single dad energy. Oh, so Sue just left. Sue left Namor, or Sue left Reed for Namor. Is that what we're saying here? All right. So realistically, when it comes to dealing with 3 strats, you're gonna need a character that does a lot of damage. That's the only way you can really beat him. So you either out damage the heals or you outlast the heals. This is why 3 tanks can beat 3 healers theoretically if it's done right. Is because they can last a lot longer than the healer's healing can. If you're gonna play a damage dealer, then what you're looking for is a DPS that can do a lot of damage. Or like Strange, which can one-shot, or like Mag, something that can just one-bang them through their ult. If you don't have anything like that, like Mr. Fantastic's not really a great pick because he's very weak in that regard. He's not weak, but he doesn't have one-shot potential. He has to kind of sit on you for a little bit. So it's a little bit harder for him to be able to handle 3 strats. No, she went on vacation? It's actually lore? That's crazy. She left for Doctor Doom? Sue can do so much better than Namor. That's funny. Okay, we're in overtime. Do we have Jeff? Jeff and the 3 healers and 3 tanks. That doesn't seem like that's gonna be fun. Yeah, I was gonna say you need Squirrel Girl. I was like, there's not really a way that you win without her. Reed does not have enough damage. Again, don't really need to be so close. You're playing a spam character. Find somewhere that you could sit and relax and shoot your shots. She does not have damage fall off. It's only the explosion damage that has to fall off, so you should not be this close. That's like the only real flaw in the gameplay is the positioning. It's melee range, and it just won't work the higher you climb. Like, you're getting away with it because your healers are paying attention, or because the enemy just doesn't know how to finish you off. But you're at 5 HP still in melee range. Like, this doesn't really make any sense when you can do the same damage from far away. That you could do that close, you know what I mean? Like I said, it's funny because you're not bad. But it doesn't matter how good someone is mechanically. If they don't position well, they're probably going to get KO'd. American, I don't... From like 1 to 10. 1 being never. 10 being all the time. Be honest. How much of my content do you watch for learning purposes? 1 to 10. 1 to 10. 1, like, again, not really. I watch here and there. 10 is like, dude, I watch all the time. I'm genuinely curious. Let's hop to the second round. 6, 7 out of 10. Yeah, because I only ask because some of the gameplay I see myself and I'm like, that's what I do. Whenever I do like reviews of some people or I coach them and I see some stuff and it's like, you must watch my content because I do that. That's me. Yeah, I don't know how much you guys would learn out of my lives. Let me be honest. I'll be honest. You'd probably learn how to crash out more than you learn how to play the game. It's kind of similar. You have ways where you can just be up here and chill, kind of like Moon Knight. It's like all of these poke characters are designed to be super far away, and then should you try to get in their face, you're half HP by the time you reach them. Luca's saying you actually learned from me? Don't expect me to fully grasp it. That's alright, Chaos. Just in case you weren't here for the first part, American, I'll explain it again real quick. When you're playing characters that have really poke-heavy sets or something that can cause people to panic, you want to use it kind of like a tank would use their presence to herd them, basically. So if you see that your tank is pushing people to the left, what you want to do is you want to shoot your shots where they're going, because you're going to guarantee hit them as they cross over, which is great for extra damage. Another thing you could do is, if let's just say the tanks are holding here, if you can angle it and hit the healers, they're going to have to start backing up, which means that the tanks don't have a team to fight. A lot of your gameplay is just shooting the tanks from the front, but it only worked in the first round very well because they had a Groot and a Rogue. But now they're running Strange, so you have to be a little bit more careful because that character is designed to stop poke. And if your goal is to always do damage to the front line like that, but they're really good at holding, you're not going to be able to get a push off. It only really works because they're not that great, but there's no reason for me to do reviews or coach you guys if you guys just to say like, oh, it's fine for this rank, right? Obviously, if you're playing ranked, you want to climb higher. If I don't mention it now, you're gonna find out real late that this is the type of stuff that's gonna get you stuck, and you have to figure it out then. So I'm just bringing it up now. So it might seem nitpicky to some of you guys, but it's important because I don't want you guys to be in a situation where you guys are like, "Pop it, I'm stuck for 500 games." All right, that's a bit excessive, but you know what I mean. Sometimes it's little, just knowing that those little things matter is huge. What you could do, since you already have the space, is you could just walk over here. Because the fight's over, right? So basically, after the fight is over, we're in the setup phase. I always explain this to you guys every single time. There usually are 4 parts of a fight. So you have setup, right? Pre-fight, full fight, cleanup. Well, setup means that nobody's even ready to do anything. So in this particular situation, you can use this because they weren't even past this threshold, which means they would have never seen you. Squirrel Girl's pretty quiet. She's not that loud. So you could go over here, right? Just do your thing. Remember, we're still in setup. Your team's spawning and everything. Do your thing. Walk over here. Right? Walk over here. Over here. If you want, you can wait for them to pass. You could shoot that a little bit later once the team fight unfolds. The beacon. Okay? And then try to walk over a little bit more. Just try to get yourself into position. If you really want to, you can toss yourself up here. And as they fight, you're shooting acorns from behind them, right? And you could be anywhere, but I'm just saying, don't think you can't flank as this character. Every DPS can flank if they want to, but you have to choose when to do it. It's not just when they see you, but this is a great opportunity because everybody legit was KO'd. Nobody saw you. Here, right? Nobody could see you. So if you really wanted to, you could have used this opportunity to flank over here, walk through, and get ready to try to shoot him from behind. And you'd be chilling. Just create those little advantages. You could also do it from this way if you really wanted to. If you want to be even more safe, but I think this is actually a little bit more dangerous considering they can still see you. You feel a growing urge to ban magic when you watch my live? That's hilarious. That's actually hilarious. Yes, nitpicky. My gameplay definitely needs it. Come on, Chaos. You've grown so much. The nitpicky is exactly what I wanted. Thank you. I'll go back and rewatch what I missed too. No problem, no problem. We're gonna look at the second game that you put just because it seemed like it would be a pretty quick watch. You just wanted to know what happened. So we're gonna pop that one up after this. Bro, that enemy team is all over with their picks. They done picked like 8 different characters each. Well played. Well played. All I would focus more on, like I said, is just kind of positioning, angling, and with your Angela gameplay, just for like a brief, just in case you don't want to go back and watch it like now. Focus more on being deliberate. I don't think that your Angela gameplay is bad. You have a lot of movement. It's kind of like me. It's like I can play Cat without being deliberate, but being deliberate really skyrockets your gameplay potential. Because you're not a bad Angela, but if you do things without really knowing why, you're just kind of flying around being a pest, sometimes your gameplay goes a little bit faster than your brain. And you can find yourself in really sticky situations. And that's kind of where people think, well, the character doesn't work. And it's like, well, no, you just... what used to work doesn't work anymore. You have to be a little bit more deliberate, that's all. All right, so here's the second one. Okay, so you said your team got ran over. Yeah, we lost this match, but I have zero clue what went wrong. I think we might have just gotten diffed, possibly, but if I'm making the mistakes, I love the advice. So let's go ahead and skim through this one and see just kind of what happens. It's important to always know if you actually lost the game because you lost the game, or if it was because it was out of your control. Because if it's out of your control, there's no really real reason to harp on it. Some people overanalyze games that's just out of their control, and it doesn't do anything but make it so that you learn the wrong things. You have to know what games literally you just can't win. That being said, you don't want to think all your games are out of your control and your teams just are causing you to lose, because then you'll never learn anything. It's a fine line. So let's see what happens. We're running 2 tanks. We do end up with 3 later, though. Guess there's a penny nest over there. Cool part about this, and the way that this penny is playing, is this nest does not really matter, because you could just walk straight past her. Penny isn't usually just going to sit here in the open. She's going to try to hide here, or she's going to play where she's playing right now. What you could do is just sit on the cart and push it. A lot of players focus too much on Penny. Not even on just this map, but like, what is that city map? I can't think of it. With the Avengers Tower and its convoy. Midtown? Is that what it is? Midtown? I think that's what it's called. But Penny will put the nest and people will try to focus it. It's like you just push the cart past her and it's okay. If you guys see any situations of stuff like this, you're trying to focus it too, when you don't have to. Just sit on the cart and fight these people and you're good. I didn't know you were going to focus on it, but you are. Just ignore it. Act like it's not there. Okay. So, we're kind of doing the same thing that we spoke about with Angela. And it seems like we talked about this. So this is I'm just going to sum it up real quick, because it's easier to show than explain. So remember, if your team is lined up like that, right? Let's just say there's 3. So you have tank here, DPS here, support here. You want to try to dive in the middle. You don't want to dive in the front, because you're going to get one shot by everybody on the team. You don't want to dive in the back, because they can potentially just ignore you, or they'll all turn around, and again, you are going to get one shot. But when you dive in the middle, it kind of separates their focus. So what I would want you to do is not play so much in the front, because you're a very, very, very frontline heavy player, but you have kits that allow you to do more. And with the Angela gameplay, you did do it right after I said it, but you only did it once that entire match. So I think you're a little bit more comfortable being in the front. I'm not saying never fight the front like you're doing right now. It's okay. But you see how your team was the one that pushed them back. It wasn't you. If you're in a situation where your team has no clue what they're doing, you're going to have to do everything yourself. And if we're not identifying when we need to shove these guys back and how we can go about it, you're going to just be sitting on cart at that door for a while. So I'd like to see you go a little bit more deep whenever you can. I'm not just saying force it, because you're going to get KO'd. But don't just feel like you have to sit and restrain yourself. Like, your gameplay doesn't look aggressive. It looks like you're pretty much handling what's in front of you, not making plays yourself. See kind of what I mean? Like, everybody on your team is doing the work for you. And then you push. But if they don't do the work for you, you sit there. And again, the only reason why I say this is because you're going to end up in games where you need to do something and you don't, and you just lose automatically. Now, I will say, if you're solo tanking, you do not have a game to play. Like, you have to be so on point, because if you get KO'd while solo tanking, you're going to throw the whole entire team fight. So playing like you're playing right now would be okay if you're solo tanking, but you're not solo tanking. You have wiggle room. Especially with like Ultron on your team, you can make some plays. Just look for them. You can go for it. Do you feel like you have to peel for your team? Is that why you're sitting in the back like this? Or do you feel like that is generally your play style, where it's just kind of like a little bit more safe? A little bit more front to back? That was well played. That was a good play by you. Again, not saying always just dive, because that's incorrect, but just remember time and place for everything. Time and place for everything. Yeah, I try to act like a line in the sand for the enemy, but heard and understood. Yeah, time and place. You're not necessarily doing anything wrong, but you have had opportunities and you didn't, use them. So just kind of know. You're gonna get KO'd a lot, by the way, when you try to practice that. But as you learn and get better, you'll be all right. Someone asked a strange question yesterday, and I had no clue how to answer it, but it was such a great question because it really goes to show how people think. So this could be you, maybe it's not, but for the tank players there, this is the question that the player asked. I remember. I wish I remember the name. It was someone that's literally a regular, and I forgot. Oh, it was Tyzeris. He said, "How do you know how far you need to be away from your team when you're tanking? Essentially, like how far can I move forward away from my team in order to be safe, in order to play the game? Am I too far away or am I too close?" They felt like if I go too far, the divers would just jump on my backline. But if I'm too close, I can't really make any plays. And it's kind of true. And the great way to answer this question was that you only want to move away from the team when you feel like you're safe enough to do so. When you're safe enough to do so, that means that no one should technically be punished. And that's what I was saying with your gameplay. It's like there's opportunities, but you're not taking them, which means you just sit there. And then what you just said was, well, I try to be the line in the sand, which is not a bad idea. But remember, you're playing Convoy. In order for you to win the match, you're going to have to keep drawing new lines in the sand, right? Do that. Whenever you feel like you can move the line to somewhere else, do so and create your space. That could be a great way for you to mentally understand what I'm saying, but in the way that you understand playing your own game. This is why when I do reviews and coach, I like to ask you guys questions, because I might not know how to say it in a way that may make sense to you until you tell me how you think. So just think of it as like I'm drawing a new line in the sand every single time that you're playing, and you should be able to do it with ease. It's not like you're trying to relearn the entire game. But you only draw a new line in the sand when you feel like it's safe to do so. And that's when I was saying, time and place for everything. You can't do it all the time, but you also can't just sit there in the same spot all the time either. So even right now, right, you were technically holding the line there, but your team got shoved back, so you had to move it back. Perfectly fine. Just keep doing that. It's okay to have that front to back gameplay, but just be aggressive sometimes. So I wouldn't have even attempted what you were trying to do there because your team wasn't even around you. I think you just got a little bit hyped up because your support was healing you, but your team wasn't actually there. Okay, your team got obliterated again. Just kind of back up. Always just pay attention to that KO feed if you can. If you're someone who doesn't use comms, doesn't matter what player you guys are, doesn't matter who I'm talking to, just in general. If you're someone who doesn't use comms, really pay attention to that feed, because that'll be able to tell you everything you need to know. Good grab. Again, your team got KO'd, so just dip. Good. Should be able to play it. I wouldn't focus too much on her. Your entire team's on Penny, so there's no reason to focus on. You can continue to move forward. Create some space if you can. Same thing here. Rogue is literally in the middle of your team. Just go ahead and play with the thing, and she should not be able to KO your team. If she can KO your entire team, then y'all supposed to lose this match. There you go. There you go. That's what I'm trying to see. Nice. Keep going, keep going, keep going. You don't need to sit on the cart. There's nobody in history that's going to be able to teleport onto that cart. You are not dealing with the Super Saiyan. The only way that they get to that cart is if they walk past you. So go up to here. Create that space. Go up to here. Create that space. You're not in any danger. It's okay. But sitting right here is just allowing them to get their bearings back and just reclaim. You see? Now they get to hold here when you could have prevented this entire thing from happening if you just moved up. That's all you had to do. But now you're making it a lot harder for your team because we have to push through this crap, which we already won the fight, by the way. We have to do it again because we didn't take the space. I won't say that fight, I won't say that round was your fault, but it's certain stuff like that where you have the potential to carry a match, the potential to actually carry 5 bad teammates. If you just think about how you can create that advantage. You guys won that fight. It was great. You know the next fight is going to be in a really crappy spot for you guys, not the enemy. So take the space so they can't have that fight for them and put them in a crappy spot. That was definitely you could have carried that situation, at least that fight. But we didn't take it. You work on being more aggressive? Yeah, but just calculated aggression. Don't just go man mode for no reason. Calculate it. Like I said, you're not a bad player. It just looks like you're a little bit scared to do things. I don't know if you're afraid to be flamed. I don't know if you feel like you have something to prove to maybe somebody you're playing with. If you're playing, you could be playing by yourself. I don't know. But it doesn't seem like you want to get KO'd. But let me tell you, if you guys want to be good, and I mean really good, you guys are going to have to get rolled over a few times. Like when I get KO'd a lot on stream, you guys might think I'm trolling, but I'm getting information. Every time I get rolled over, I'm getting information. I'm not just running it down. But you have to be okay with that. The more you get KO'd, the more you learn. Imagine someone getting to like Diamond when they only get KO'd about twice a game on tank versus a tank that gets KO'd like 10 times. How much more experience does that tank get that gets KO'd 10 times a match but still wins than the person who gets KO'd twice? Seeking if they have the same win rate, that the same amount of wins, you have a lot more repetition, you have a lot more practice, you have a lot more interaction because you were perfectly okay with running it down a few times to learn. Versus the other tank that's like, well, I'll just win my matches. Okay, we'll get to a rank where that's not going to work no more. The other one that got KO'd 10 times will have a lot more battles under their belt. So just don't be afraid to run it down. Again, calculate it. Don't just like throw your games. Like this, calculated. You have your ult. You're ready to go in. This is great, right? This is great. If you get KO'd, you can learn from this. If you don't, good job. See? But you like I said, you do this, but you do it it's very infrequent with your gameplay. You actually can do it. It's just like you really wait for the right time to do it. Whereas like there ain't no really such thing as the right time. When there's 12 players on a map, you just gotta go. You just gotta attempt. You just gotta attempt. But it's also important because if you were like, well, I ulted there to try to get KOs and you didn't get KOs, you could tell yourself, well, why didn't I get KOs? And you can learn from that, you know? If your goal was just to do it just because you had ult, well, then you're not going to learn much. So be calculated, be intentional, and you'll be able to learn a lot more. That's my man. I love Rogue, man. So a little trick as a melee character, if you guys ever play them, hug walls religiously. Like there's cover for people who use walls, but like as a melee character, you need to hug walls religiously. Like you need to be so close to that thing because they're gonna have to try to walk through you. But if you're on the wall, and I mean on the wall, it's very hard to walk through you. Now in a situation like this, obviously they could just walk wide, but walking wide means they have no cover. They are going to have to approach you from this direction. And if you're on this wall and you're punching and punching and punching and punching and punching and punching and punching, they have to try to move through you. It's so hard to do that. So if you're a melee character, don't do this. Hug walls. If you're trying to play defense, it keeps you safe. If you're hugging a corner that they have to walk through, like this, right? They have to walk through here, or they have to go wide. There is no other option. If they hug you, if they hug the wall, you're good. You're there. If they don't, they get shot. You're putting them in a bad position. But you being all over the place, put yourself in a bad position. Not saying that's why your team gets wiped here. I'm just saying that it's just something to think about. In reality, did you lose because of you? No, but you could have made it so that you guys got a little bit further yourself. I don't think this game was at all your fault. Entirely. I don't think really a match is all anyone's fault. Unless you play Jeff on my team, then 1,000% it is. But for the most part, everybody has a hand in a match. And everybody had a chance to do something. Your chance was that line. And because we didn't claim that space that you won, fair and square, by the way, you let them reclaim it back. That's what made it so you guys stopped there. I don't know if you guys would have won the match off of that, though, because it seems like your team just got rolled. Maybe they're upset or something. I don't know. But in that particular instance, yeah. That particular instance, that particular instance, you could have definitely made it a little bit further. So this person says, I feel like I played well in these games, trying to learn Hawkeye. Please tell me what I'm doing, where I can improve. Remember, you guys, when you guys do replays, try to be a little bit more specific. Not only for the sake of my time, but yours as well. I don't mind looking at them, but keep in mind that it's easier for me to hone in on something specific than it is when you guys specifically, or when you guys don't say anything specific. And it's like, well, my general gameplay. It's like, well, that's a lot. You could have easily been like, well, this particular thing I struggle with. You know what I mean? Yeah, no problem, American. No problem at all. It's definitely something we both went through. Being a Thor player, or a Hulk player, and a Cap player, KOs was left and right for those two characters. I think Hulk would get KO'd a lot more than the Cap would, to be honest with you. To be honest, I think Hulk will suffer a little bit more for the learning. All right, playing Hawkeye. So one thing that Hawkeye players generally suffer with is just lack of positioning. Like, no Hawkeye player positions well. I don't really know why, but they don't. I would say that I'm part of that, but I really don't know because I never pay attention. So I could be part of that because I don't pay attention to how I'm positioning when I'm playing them. I'll just default positioning. But it's something to keep in mind because if you do want to get better at Hawkeye, you are going to have to. If you're not getting pocketed by your healer, you're going to have to position well. I like your positioning now, though, using cover. Perfect. Using the cart as cover, trying to get your shots off. Not really focused on Venom. He's going to jump away eventually, so you're right to not focus on that character. Cap is coming back. Should Cap or Venom ever be in your face, switch to the explosive shots and shoot the ground. That does a lot more damage than... It's a lot more consistent and does more damage than you shooting, so... shoot. Swap it and shoot down. I hate the Hawkeye players that know that because I can never play in their face. A little trick that you could do is that, so Hawkeye charges by having the player close enough to it, or the enemy close enough to him, right? The trick is to charge on a tank, look at a squishy super far away, and line up the shot and land it. This way, you're actually a real sniper without actually having the ability to do it. You could cheat the system that way. It only lasts for a few seconds, so you got to be on your toes. But if you can start to get that down path where you charge on a tank, look somewhere, shoot them, charge on a tank, look somewhere, shoot them, you will start KOing a lot of people that are super far away. It's hard, but you could do it. There's no fall off damage when it comes to this character. So you want to charge on whatever's in front of you and then look away. I just don't think they added charge off unless they did it and I wasn't around in like season 4. That's okay that you don't play that much. Play as much as you can when you can. You don't need to play tons of hours to get better. You do yours next. It's 3 a.m. You don't want to miss, but you need to sleep. Let's see. I mean, I don't know if I was going to do one of yours today. Well, at least in the first half, because I told you I was going to do 2 halves now. But if you're going to go to sleep, I can do yours after this one. Okay? Sounds good. Yeah, I think I was going to do yours in the second half, but since you're going to go to sleep. Since you're going to go to sleep. All right, so again, kind of for the most part, like I said before at the start, it's more of a positioning thing. It's more of angles. You want to be in areas where they don't really know where you are. Of course, when you shoot, they'll know where you are. Don't get me wrong, but you want to try to be in spots that they can't really identify where you are until you shoot. So you see, he's a great example. He's doing what I'm telling you to do. Oh God. Don't approach this guy. She is ready. She is ready. She is not playing. Don't approach this corner. He was not surviving. But pretty much do what he's doing. You see how he's on he's in an unusual location, right? It's not like you were gonna come out and know exactly where he is. This is what you call an off angle. It's something to make the player turn their camera to a specific direction to deal with you. This is pretty much exactly what you do. I'm curious how this plays out though. Yo, she is waiting. What? She got KO'd? Or did she just not play the game? Okay, I don't know where she went. That was an auto win magic on the enemy team in my game. She would have just KO'd 3 people right there. Oh, there it goes. I can say most people say magic's not a problem. If they play like that, I don't know what to say. Don't make shots harder than they need to be. So you're like trying to jump. You're in a weird location. You're trying to jump. You're trying to get shots. Don't make them harder than they need to be. It's already really hard to aim in this game because there's a lot of different sizes and there's a lot of different shapes and characters move funky. Try to make the shots as easy as possible for you. So a good way to do it is to make sure you're looking down if possible, not up, and in a location where you know that they'll pass by rather than trying to force a weird, awkward spot. So, for example, you could be up here. Again, it literally just mirror this guy. This guy is actually doing exactly what I'm like explaining, but he might be like smurfing or something. There's a lot of people on PC that smurfs, and it kind of sucks. But I know sometimes when I play on PC and I play a specific character, they'll pretty much do exactly what America said, where they'll like mirror you because they were like, "Oh, look at me! I'm a higher rank. I can play this character." Win or lose, it tends to happen a lot on PC than it does on console. But that guy clearly knows how to play Hawkeye. So pretty much what he's doing in weird spots in higher locations, That's where you're going. He's also making his shots difficult right now, though. It should be a lot easier. He shouldn't really be missing this much, but it's only because he's making his shots a lot more difficult than they have to be. I made a video talking about aiming before, and a lot of people don't realize they make their aim a lot harder because of how they move around. But if you make your shots easier, slowing yourself down, getting in advantageous locations, it's free low. Yeah, some good flick though. That sucks. You have some good flick though. Like your flicks are pretty solid. But I think your weakness is tracking. So if you can get a little bit on point with your tracking, you'd be solid. Again, pretty rinse and repeat, just positioning. Just positioning. Although you might not be super stylish when you're positioning well to get shots, you're going to win the match. And you know, what's more impressive? Winning or landing highlight shots? I think I'd rather have a winning team that's boring than a team that's losing with highlights. You know what I mean? Because you're not actually a bad shot. It's just you could be so much better not getting KO'd every single time that you do something. Just because you get a few KOs, but you get KO'd doesn't mean it's a good trade-off. If the person that you're getting out of the match isn't equivalent to you, right? If you're, let's just say, the one carrying the match as your Hawkeye, and you trade two people that aren't carrying their side, but you're the carry and you got taken out, well, then your team might lose without you. You know what I mean? So if you're ever going to trade, you really have to make sure that that trade is worth it. It's as much value as you are, or more, when you go for the trade. But a lot of your trades have been unnecessary. It's just more to positioning. Ooh, Black Panther. Oh, that was close. That'd have been nice. I love the sound effects of the skin. I almost bought it. I'm still debating. Oh, you are hunting him. You are hunting that guy. You don't get on high ground because you feel like you won't get heals. Best way to play any game with supports is to feel like you'll never get heals regardless. Especially as a DPS, just know where health packs are and play around them. Like there's a health pack down here, so if you really wanted to, you can play from this angle. You can play from this angle. You already have a health pack here. I wouldn't really play from this angle, but this is just an example. If you wanted to take high ground here, you can. There's a health pack right behind you. Again, most Hawkeye players don't have good positioning because they're reliant on getting pocketed by healers. But if you can learn to kind of know when you'll get pocketed versus when you might not and play the health packs instead, you'll be chilling. That was a good shot. It's funny how effective this character is just because you know how to aim. Like you don't have to do anything else. As long as you can land a shot, bro, you're impactful. It's actually so hilarious. Not saying you're not doing anything, but it's just something to think about. I never really thought about it. I mean, I did, but just not to this extent. But now I'm just looking at it, I'm like, you actually don't really need to do anything complicated with this character. If you could just land a shot, bro, you probably will win most of your matches. Nice. Nice. All right. Yeah. Your weakness is definitely just positioning. Um, it seems like a lot of your gameplay is reactionary, or I'll just say reaction based because we had this conversation before. Reactionary does not mean XYZ. I know, but I still use it because it just makes sense. But reaction based gameplay is very slippery slope because sometimes you'll lose your ability. Some days you just might not feel it and you'll lose your ability to play like that and you'll start losing matches. Maybe your hands are cold, maybe you're just tired, maybe you're hungry, whatever, and you just can't rely on those mechanics, you'll be in trouble. So lean some of that skill that you have, that reaction based skill that you have, lean it more towards just game knowledge and game sense, and you'll be pretty nasty for sure, for sure. But you really won't notice it until you start to feel it. You haven't felt it yet. But I'll say this: what happens when you can't play Hawkeye? Chaos, if you're still here, what game did you want me to look at? Was it the most recent one with Thor? Wait, hold up. Yeah, is it the most recent one? Oh no, yeah, this is Thor. Was it that one? Okay. But yeah, Jack, what happens when you can't play Thor? I mean Thor, oh my god. What happens when you can't play Hawkeye, Jack? Jesus. Do you feel like you could still play the game correctly? Or do you feel like you're at a major disadvantage if you can't play Hawkeye? Because if you do feel like that, then yeah, that's what will happen until you get your game knowledge down packed. But I don't want that to happen. You know what I mean? But if you're like, Papa, I could play other characters just as smooth, then you chilling. You know exactly what you should be doing, and you haven't hit your rough patch yet. All right. Okay, Bucky's a pretty good solid backup. You don't play Hella? That's a first. I feel like all Hawkeye players backpack Hella. You go take if no one is. So you're kind of like a flex player. Well, I won't say like hardcore flex, but you're not a one trick. That's good. That's good. And the bright side about it is too is like working on your positioning and stuff helps you. It's transferable. It helps with other characters and other roles too. Like I said, I think you're very good mechanically, but just your decisions could be abused if someone were to figure out how to deal with you. Hawkeye is a bit OP right now, and a lot of players don't know how to play into snipers. But should you not play against a sniper, you might. Should you not play against someone? Should you play into someone that knows how to deal with the sniper, you might actually be in trouble. And that's just what I want to avoid. But you do have some really good accuracy. All right. What's up, Blue Pit? Hello, hello. How you doing? So this replay says, I tried to do what you told me to do. One trigger character. I wanted to do Iron Man, but no one plays tank. Then you and your curse words. I feel like I can make Doctor Strange and Mac work, but Thor is just fun. Like I can play him in any situation, but maybe that's because my rank is low and people can't counter me easily. I think Thor is pretty solid in most situations if played properly. He's very flexible. Also still play Penny on defense when needed for the team. Definitely abuse that character until she's banned. But since people I know the location of most nest placements, I started to predict them coming and just place mines accordingly. Make it work, which is fine. Anyways, back to Thor. You guys think Thor's push around is good now? I think it's always been good. He just had to do it correctly. But I've never really been a spam push Thor though. There's someone in our Discord that's a Thor main, and like we always have debates because I'm like I don't play Thor like that, but they do. And so I'm more critical with how I play, and they're more like melee breezery. Because I watched that No One Run Awakening. Yeah, exactly. They pretty much just like spam push. But I always use Awakening when I play. Also, Awakening, well, a lot of pushing, brawling, and I won the game easily. Yep, it's just hard to deal with. I did it 3 times in a row with MVP in the last game. Also, a major factor was my dive adapt a bit. Weird for take. as I didn't announce my presence till I got in the back line, and then I lit them up. And you said you're in Plat 2 now. I would assume Thor is pretty potent in Plat 2. Mostly when in the back line, either I killed the whole team or I die after going suicidal charge after my team didn't distract them for a second. Well, it's never your team's job to distract. I'll say this. You don't want to confuse Thor with like other dive tanks like Venom or Cap. Thor could do a lot, but he is only able to do what he's allowed to do. Dive tanks like Venom and Cap necessarily don't really have rules. They can go whenever they want, but Thor is a bit more clunkier and a way bigger hitbox. So you can't just do what you want. Generally speaking, if you do play that way, you're going to hit a hard wall. And a lot of Thor players do. There's a Thor player I was coaching around like season 2, and he was that way. And I was like, you can't play like that anymore, bro. That's why you're losing. And I worked with him, and eventually he stopped playing like that. He started to win, and he got his rank that he won. But yeah, you're not going to be able to just sit there and punch people or hit them with the hammer. It's not going to work anymore. So you have to play a little bit more strategically. I think this die worked only due to this being gold, or it could work further too. We will see. Also, my roast user match with Convoy as Thor, I did a 3-2, and I discovered while Thor is not great for at least at defending at the first point for me, at the end of the last point, on now 33 Convoy maps is where I get most of the kills on defensive part. And that is true. Thor is definitely better at being aggressive than he is at like holding the line, but he's similar to other characters like Rogue or The Thing, like all other melee characters, is you just have to learn how to play walls. You have to learn how to play with your awakening. You have to know that the windows of opportunity on defense are a lot different than the windows of opportunity on offense. When you're playing on defense, you don't have a lot of windows to just go crazy. But on offense, because that's all you're doing, you can get away with it a lot more. Away from that with Thor, always top 2 in final hits. Also, how to deal with characters like Star-Lord. I mean, Thor has a lot of KO secure potential, though. So it's not much of a shocker that you will end up in the top, like, KO percents. That character has nasty secure potential. It's way better than all the other tanks. Oh, I lied. Venom has very great KO secure potential. I play Hela, but her survival is so low. I feel like I overcommit to fights. I feel like this season, Thing and Groot are counter to each other. Wait, we just hopped off. We just let's backtrack. Her survival is low. After you bird, you're kind of cooked. You feel like you overcommit in fights. I see that, and that's what I was talking about with more of like your highlights. It's like a lot of how you play is highlight based, and it could. I won't say you're intentionally playing like that because it could be just in your subconscious. But because that character feels so good, the dopamine rush of getting shots feels so good, Hawkeye players tend to put themselves in like really crappy situations to get them. And then that's what I mean by highlight gameplay. It's like you want that, and it overrides your ability to think about it more of a strategic way. It's pretty similar to Cap in a sense of like a lot of Cap players like to stall, but they don't know what to do if that doesn't work. And they keep trying to do it over and over and over and over again. And it's like, well, it feels good to be annoying and whatnot, but when you get KO'd, it's not going to work. But they keep trying because it just feels so good to be annoying and stall and whatnot. Every character has something similar. So yeah, you would probably been KO'd already if it were a higher rank because of how we approach the situation. Remember, it doesn't matter what character you are when you're playing tank. If you're going to try to take space, you have to really think about why. Going in here when you're not even full HP into 1, 2, 3, 4 players, you're going to get KO'd. But I will say that if you thought about it and you're like, well, we already got a couple of picks and Star-Lord is low, and then you went in on this, I would give you the benefit of the doubt. Because once you get a pick, you can go a little bit nuts. So if you think you're like, popping, that's what I did, then kudos. If you're like, well, I just kind of went in, then, you know, don't do that. Can I go after? Maybe. My match is just 5 minutes. Didn't want to take too long because I'm new here. Your OG viewers probably want to submit some replays. Usually I go down the list. So generally speaking, newer people don't typically get theirs until like the next week. But since I'm feeling a little bit generous, and it's not that long, I could take a look at it. But you can kind of see the similar thing. It's like you did it again here. And you see how they're just not looking at you? Like this does not work. There's no way you should be able to get away with this. But you see how long you last? Like, look how long you lasted. In 4 players. In 4 players. That's ridiculous. So when you are playing Thor, especially on defense, you really have to think about when I can go in, because you don't have a lot of opportunities to do it. Because if you get a little bit too aggressive, you're going to get KO'd and it's going to cost your team the fight. Unless they're good enough to win without you. Again, don't do that. This is literally the same exact thing. And so this is pretty much what the Thor player that I was talking about in season 2, he would do the same thing. A lot of Thor players actually do this. It's not just you. It's like a hurdle that all Thor players have to get over. And what you're explaining when you said you watch YouTube videos and stuff like that, where people do the same thing, it's like they just get good at doing it, but it doesn't mean it's right. You know what I mean? Just because you're good at doing something bad doesn't mean that you're, you know, it doesn't mean that you're good. But that could just be bias because I don't play like that. I don't usually hone the wrong ways to play the game in any game that I play because I just don't think that that is sustainable. But if people are truly one tricks, sometimes they can learn things and they can do it so well that it will actually just work because they got so good at it. But I will say this, a lot of players in high rank, they think Thor sucks. And the reason they think Thor sucks is because they all play like this. And you can say it's a coincidence if you want to, but I'm going to say it's not. I'm going to say it's not. I will say you got better at your mechanics. And I will also say you are doing a lot more of what we talked about, which is just being aggressive. The thing is, you were always very like standard in your gameplay, but now you're actually doing stuff, you're active, so it's good to see. Much as I'm saying, you know, wrong time, wrong place sometimes, it doesn't mean like you have to do this to make mistakes, is what I'm saying. It's not like you're not going to learn unless you make the mistakes. So I do like that you're more active and you're pretty much doing what we talked about. What's up, Force Side? Hello, hello. Where's in the replay code? Yeah, Lauren got you. Dreadhead, hello, hello. I heard someone say there's not much difference between low and high rank. It's just that the rate at which things happen is faster in higher lobbies. Team fights are faster, but they're more structured. So that's definitely a difference. The other difference is that players know how to use their characters a lot better, and players know how to play their role a lot better. The other difference is that players have better target priority. Other difference is players in higher rank generally make the same mistakes, but they do it at a less frequency. The lower ranks do. So I wouldn't really sum it up to just one thing like that, but it's not some drastic shift of like, well, this high rank player is doing some crazy stuff that I can't do because I'm a lower rank. It's not like that. But just how the whole game flows is a lot different. That really goes for like anything though, whether it's a game or sports. You know, what's the difference between college football and NFL? Right? What's the difference between high school basketball and college? You know, it's the same game technically, but there's a lot more going on. You know, it's not just quicker, but everybody understands things at a higher level, so things are just done a lot better. That's all. I don't know how we ended up on Gambit. Was it because you got KO'd? I just meant in the type of game played American, but I guess that's true. I guess that is true. I never actually thought about that. About that, how many points are scored. I missed the dive. All your dives are the same. I'm not. I'm not. I'm not skipping over your gameplay. I just know that you're doing the same thing over and over, so there's no point of talking about every single moment that's the same. You know, that's how I can get through the replays a little bit quicker. Is that that was better. So this was good. This was good. This was you identifying that you can go ahead and play the game. Let me see though. Did you just drop down for no reason? Or did you actually just drop down with the intention? Okay, you just you just happened to be in the right place at the right time. So it worked out. That okay, so this would not have worked in a higher rank because people would call you out as soon as they saw you. That's like one of the tweaking differences between like I don't know. I don't listen to comms in Diamond. I just know that when people stream in Grandmaster Plus, I generally go to their stream and I hear them talking. But for those of you that play in Diamond, do you guys have a lot of comms? Like, do you guys hear people talking? Platinum too? Or do you guys like have... Like, you might not participate, but do you hear? Because I felt like you'd be called instantly, and that they would have all just looked at you. But I don't know how early they start coming. I know that it's in Grandmaster for sure, and you'd be called out instantly, but I don't know about Diamond. And Plat, no comms? Okay, I was like, that don't work if you got called out. You could cancel Starlord's ult with his E? I don't think you cancel him, but he drops him. He drops him down. Well, because I don't use comms, I usually tell you guys this when I play, is like I try to get a feel for who responds. So I'll test the waters a little bit. And I'll go in and be like, who's looking at me now? And it lets me know who's on comms or who's maybe a pre-made or something like that. But that whole execution looked like they're not even talking to each other. They're not pinging. You're just getting away with it. And that's something to be careful of, because if you do start smacking into a rank where they start talking and you try to go in at weird times, they're gonna call you out for it and you're gonna get destroyed. So just kind of keep that in mind. I'm in Diamond and lots of people use comms. Okay, so it does start around like Diamond. So yeah, you're not quite there yet, but I just wanted to point that out because I don't want you to be surprised when everybody starts turning around. You're like, wait a second. Oh, my team sucks. Like, no. No. You're getting called out, my friend. That is why they're reacting to you so quickly. Okay, before going for a dive, I don't do this, but y'all know. Do as I say, not as I do. Before going for a dive, make sure your team is okay. Every diver should make sure that their team is able to play the game while they go for one. If your team cannot play the game when you go for one, you will get KO'd or your team is going to lose. You have to make sure that they're okay. So what I would do is I would slow this down and I would check my team first. Before this, look back. Before this, look back. Definitely before that, look back and see what's going on. You see how far you are away from, even if your team is aware of what you're doing, you're like 30 years away. There is no way they help you here. And you're either going to get 1v6'd or your team's going to get run over. They didn't even need to all turn around. And look at Mag trying to help you. You got KO'd already, but Mag trying to pull a you. And he's going to get KO'd most likely. Oh, or not. His healers are godlike. Why does he look so floaty? Is that lag? Or does he just always look like that? Goodness gracious. Luckily, you came back in time. Well, just always something to think about. Make sure your team is okay. Kind of similar. You're still doing the same thing. Not making sure that they're okay. You're not there to peel, but just know, like, you gotta wait for them to give you the green light. Oh, you're wilding. You're wilding for that ult, my friend. Your team already got KO, so I wouldn't have used my ult in that situation. I like it though. Like, as much as there's issues here and there, I do like that you're committing to a lot of what you're doing. Because the more you can know that you're committing to something, the more you understand why it doesn't work. If you're doing something and you're just really wishy-washy about it, you kind of don't learn because you're not fully into it. But you're just going, you are all in and you are, there is no chill. Like, you are in there. Whether or not it works, you're just committed. Thor players are wild. I don't know. I don't know. I don't care. But you can kind of see, like, out of all the mistakes that you've made so far, you not only got MVP, but you're winning your matches. And this is a clear-cut example of what I'm talking about when there's certain characters that allow you to climb without needing to do things correctly. So it's not to say that the players are bad, but it is to say that you're kind of getting away with things you shouldn't be getting away with because of the character design. Thor is like that. The Thing is like that. Magic is like that. Iron Fist is like that. Again, it just goes. There's a lot of characters in the game that kind of do that, and I don't mind that you play your certain way, but you just have to remember that there's a difference between I'm playing well versus I'm taking advantage of these guys because they don't know what they're doing. Even when I play Cap, when I stall a cart or when I go in the back line and I'm not getting shot or they're missing all their shots, I'll tell you right then and there. I'm usually like, there ain't no way I should be getting away with this. There's no way I should be doing this because I just know. But you should know how to turn that on and off. You should know how to be like, well, you guys are so bad that I can do whatever I want. Turn it on, right? But that shouldn't be your default. You shouldn't be like, well, you guys are always so bad, I can do what I want, because it won't work anymore. And you need to learn how to tighten it up and play properly. I like it. You can keep going. Nice. That's more of how I would like you to play. More front to black. More front to black. More front to back. I would like you to play more front to black. I still... Where's the L coming from? Back. Front to back. When you do that, you're safer. Everybody's safer. And then when you see the opportunity, go in and start doing your dive thing, right? It isn't all dive or all front to back. It's whichever one presents the best opportunity. So I do like that. Where's popping worse? Asgard proud of you though? True. Yeah, you dash a lot. So in a situation like this, we know that she ulted. Where is she though? Is she already ult in here? Yeah. In situations like this is huge. This is a great turning point. So you know that they're cloaking down your ulted in the back, right? But their team isn't inside the ult yet. Huge. Fight them. Because they're not healthy. No. You just continue to fight them because they have to get past you. I mean, they're already KO'd, I guess, by this point, but definitely continue to fight them. That was good. I like that. Everybody was on board. Your entire team knew the assignment. Huge. Huge. And now you're getting away with it more because they're staggering, right? So Thor thrives on all rush characters, which is why I tell you guys, if you guys want some wins, rush characters this season are it, because people do not understand what to do against them. They haven't been played for a while. So once you get a free pit, you can just keep wailing on them, right? Oh, staggered, keep wailing on them. Right? And then just who's next? And you keep doing that over and over and over until they regroup. But by then, you got so much space and you have so many points accumulated, it's very difficult for them to even play the game. You see? Look, you already took somebody out, and then he got taken out. Right? And they're still staggered. You can go in and do whatever you want. It's just rinse and repeat. And it's even worse when there's Rogue with Thor, or like Rogue with the Thing, or it's just like, how do you stop this? You're solo tanking, and it's still really hard to stop it. Just people don't know how to do it. People do not know how to do it. They don't understand they need to regroup. They don't understand they need to hold properly. They don't understand any of that. And so once one person gets picked, you can just start going ham and keep picking them off little by little. I think Thor's probably going to get nerfed, to be honest. It's funny because I don't think he needs it, but the community, well, the player base, not the community, the player base that I've played with don't really understand what they're doing with that character. And I think sometimes they'll bite the bullet and nerf something just because people don't know how to deal with it, rather than because it's excessively strong. Well, I guess we'll have to see how much more he's played. All right. That being said, yeah, everything that we talked about on that other day, you did it really well. You knew exactly what you should be doing. You started being more aggressive. You started really making more mistakes, and that's all that I was asking for, because it was very hard to help you if you're not pushing your boundaries and pushing your limits. All right, I'm gonna do yours, Blood Moon, but let me know you're still here before I do it. Are you still here? Oh, never mind. I just see you type. All right, and then after Blood Moon, we'll do Nash. Iron Man already suffers enough. Iron Man already suffers enough. That's funny. Oh, you're playing Hulk. Passes the mic over to Lauren. Just looking for any tips, really. I know Hulk is really bad this season. I actually think he's good. But let me be honest. I don't think people line up with my tier list whatsoever. So maybe I need to work on positioning so I don't get CC'd. Yeah, I don't think Hulk is ever really bad either. I mean, he's not insane. He's not OP. He's just like in the middle. You know? He's not OP, but he's not awful. He's like there. And the better you get at him, the higher he gets in terms of how good he is. But like a baseline Hulk, probably not that great. Good night, Chaos. Glad I could do your review. See you next time, buddy. Buff Hulk? I don't know about that. Buff Cap before you buff Hulk, please. Please. Yeah, buff Cap too. Why you gotta choose? Just buff them all. Just buff them all. I like how you're holding the wall. That's huge. I don't really like you hopping there. I would have stayed on this wall just a little bit, just to see what happens. I know Hulk players generally are a little bit more. It's like Thor too. It's like if I really wanted to play Hulk, I don't usually hop as much as regular Hulk players. It's the same with Thor. It's like I don't usually dash around as much as Thor players. I just kind of play my own thing. But I'm only saying this is because the more you jump around and put yourself in harm's way, I like that you're tapping and running away though. Because I was gonna say, typically, some Hulk players will hop in and they'll punch, right? And they'll get low. And then they'll dip out. And again, depending on what rank you're in, you're gonna probably get one shot before you can do anything. And by the time you hop back out, you didn't really accomplish anything and you're probably low. This is why I don't really hop as much or dash around as much when I play Thor, because in my opinion, it's just not worth it. But as you see, you're not really getting attacked. And so this is one of those things where you can abuse the fact that you're not really being punished for it. Well, I will say something that I really like is the fact that you are trying to use cover as you jump. A lot of Hulk players don't do that. It's super solid gameplay. Like you're using the terrain as you play rather than just kind of like hopping around to hop around. You understand where you should be and you understand where you're going to land. It's pretty solid. It's pretty solid. I think Gambit messed you up, but I'm not sure. When he's ulting, you can't CC that character anyway, so should you jump at this guy, it's not going to affect him. So you can just ignore him when he ults. I feel like Gambit ult with Hulk is like a double-edged sword. It's kind of like similar to Cap. It can either mess you up or it can be very useful for you. But at least with Cap, I can turn off the sprint. Like, what do you do with this character? You just see, there ain't no off. You are going to overjump. So I like what I see, but this is like a montage type Hulk. It's not actually like a realistic type Hulk. I don't know what rank you main, like what your main is in, but I just don't feel like this works where I'm used to playing at. What rank do you play in? Like you hop around a little bit too much. I like watching it, but I don't want to be biased and just not comment on it. You are hopping around a lot. And even when I play Cap, I have those games where I also hop around a lot. But most of them, I don't do that because I'll get shot out. I love that you know how to use your movement, but I will try to be more deliberate with what you're hopping to and why you're hopping, not just hop all the time. I like it, watching it, but it's just not practical. You're Diamond 2? Okay, that explains. Because you're getting away with it a little bit too much. Each time you hop, you're kind of just like saying, I'm a big green target. And if you do it all the time, you're always going to get shot. The only way that you can get away with hopping around this much is if the team is already fighting. But a lot of when you hop, you kind of are hopping before the team fight starts, kind of like right now. You see? Now, if you decide to continue to hop, you're kind of hopping before the team fight started. Now, granted, the fight is over. I'm not saying you can't do it here. I'm just an example. You get really far away and you start hopping around when the fight's kind of hasn't started yet. And so they can always look at you. That was nice. The thing is, though, I do pride you on like your ability to bail out. Like, you're very good at running away should it get dicey. But I just feel like if you're a little bit more deliberate, kind of like that. You see what I mean? A little bit too much. A little bit too much. It's like you're not deliberate. You just do it. And it's like, well, if you guys can deal with me, cool. If you can't, I'm about to run the show. I don't mind how you play, but just be a little bit more accurate with what you're doing. Be a little bit more calculated with why you're doing it. And you're going to start noticing like drastic changes. Just play a little bit slower. But you don't want to put yourself in a situation like this. Because look, what happens if you did that and the team fight's about to start? You have to have your healers burn everything on you to get you back to full. But what do they have left for the team fight? Yeah, you guys just lose. You know what I mean? So just be a little bit more deliberate. I like watching it, but I don't want that to dilute the replay. Are you playing with your friends or something like that? Or is this like a solo quick match? Because I swear I never get healed in a quick match. You must be the luckiest person alive. I play anything in quick match, I'm never getting healed. It's like they don't even think I exist. You solo? What in the world? Maybe people just don't like Cap. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe just people just rather have this guy get KO'd repeatedly. I don't know. I never get healed when playing that character. I'm healed more playing Spider than I am playing Cap. I like this. She's playing a little bit more front to back with the team. Yep, just sit there and chill. What I actually would do is I would shield yourself and just jump to this hallway as his ult was going off so that he flips his camera around and looks at you. You have to be extremely confident to pull that off, but do that and then just run away. That way your team could potentially take him out. It's something that you'll have to practice because if you mess it up, he'll shred you. But it's so valuable if you can learn to do it. Playing it out with your ult isn't bad either. Like, you didn't play it wrong. I'm just saying, it's just something to think about. Like, don't be afraid to use your movement as a way to get people to flip cameras around. Nah, Poppin', you not bugging. Yeah, people just don't like Cap. I don't know what it is. Kind of, again, really, really deep. Don't have to be. Just very selfish gameplay. It works here, but if you do this and you get blasted to like 100 HP, mechanics won't save you. You're going to have to rely on your healers to bring you back. And if they do it, when the team fight breaks out, they have nothing left for you. They have pretty resource heavy, demanding supports too. You have Loki, which if he puts that lamp down, it's down for about 20 seconds. And then you have Gambit, where he has card management. So if he's wasting it all on you, or they're both wasting it on you, they don't have anything left to fight with. Okay, now you're just trolling. I will say though, when I play quick play with Cap, it does feel like I'm just unKOable. The amount of survivability that I have in quick play, because people don't really focus you, is pretty immense. But I just never get healed. It's weird. Like, nobody really cares. Nice that we're back helping. Of course, if the cart isn't able to be pushed, go see why. Go deep now. Your team is fighting. And this is where you can be crazy and do all the jumping and do whatever you want to do, because the fight's already taking place. Like I said, my issue isn't that you do it, because it's good. But there's a time and place for everything. So just make sure that when you're bouncing around and all that, they're not all able to look at you. Unless you're making an opening for your team, like if you're trying to do that to break open the formation, which is fine. But I haven't seen any pause in your gameplay, so I just think that that's how you play in general. Or maybe you're just feeling yourself in this match, which is also fine. But I wanted to speak on it. I wanted to speak on it. Yeah, you even have really nice curve jumps. Lauren, what do you rate that? 1 to 10. Lauren's our resident Hulk goddess master. Top 0.000% Hulk main. So if you get Lauren's approval, Thank you for watching it. You're welcome. It's a quick play master. Hard to tell. No, she didn't. No, she didn't. I liked it. I liked the Blood Moon. But yeah, it's just I know for a fact you're not surviving if people can aim really well or if they're coordinated. Just off of mechanics alone. That's all. Alright, Nash, you're gonna do yours. Nash brought the support back. Cause Poppin being trolling, deleting my request. I'm sorry, Nash. I'm sorry, Nash. Don't hate me, buddy. Okay. But it worked out, so hey. I mean, you're not you're not wrong. I just know some people that look at reviews or coach people. I don't know about like Marvels, but when I used to professionally coach for League of Legends, there's a lot of people that will like half a coach basically. And basically they'll just tell you what you want to hear, or because they don't see any problems, they're not going to speak on it because they don't want to actively look for it. Coaching isn't just about telling someone right or wrong. You know, you really have to understand what's going on and, you know, what could happen in the future and what happens if you ascend ranks and stuff like that. So, I never want to be that way. And so that's why I see a little bit further ahead. Because I just know what happens when you get into that situation. And I don't want you in that situation. So that's why I do what I do and how I do. All right. So Nash says, mainly looking for tips on the strategist positioning, fundamentals, and ultimate management. Normally I submit a lose game because I feel like I learn more from those games, but most of my games this season have been tank games, so my support VODs are fewer to pick from. No worries. Whether you have a winning or a losing game, I'm more looking at your habits. I'm not looking at your final scores or if you won or lost, because your habits will always be punished. You know, doesn't matter how many games you win, your habits will always be punished. All right, let's see what we got here. I have a Hawkeye. You don't know this yet though until you open your tab menu. Well, you know now after you saw that shot. Yeah, you're just chilling right now. You're just trying to keep your healers healthy, or everybody healthy. Okay, this is like giga nitpick, but if you're a strategist player, when you are being chased, you need to run in the vicinity of your team. You know that your team is behind you because you know that they're not in front of you. So instead of playing it how you did, you know, put your shield on you and walk backwards. You're running away, but you're actually running away from your team. I know theoretically it seems like, well, I'm trying to get away from danger and get away from the people back there that could be pushing us, but like realistically, the more you run away, the more they have to chase you. It's not something you realize you're doing until you actively think about it mid-match. But once you think about it mid-match, you'll never do it again. Like, you'll always run to your team. I like the positioning there. I like that you're not. I mean, you walk out to get sniped, but I like that you were chilling. Because yeah, like right here, the opening. The only reason I knew that you'd probably be in trouble is because Thor is a very movement-based tank. This means that eventually he's not going to be where he is anymore, right? You have to think about when you're playing strategist, what tanks are you playing with? Because that lets you know how safe you actually are. I try to be a little bit more deliberate with how I move with Cap because they think I'm going to just sit there and stay, but I'm not. I'm about to leave again. So I try to be a little bit more deliberate to let them know, like, this is what I'm about to do. But if you're playing with like a Hulk or the Thing or Thor or Cap, you already know Angela, right? Like these characters tend to run away a lot. So if you're gonna try to walk up to fight with them, you need to know that they might move, and if they move, look what you're into right now, right? Just think about that. Like you're not taking advantage of, luckily, but even right there, you have a lot of confidence, Nash. You need to relax, bro. Look at that. Look at that. Look how much confidence you have. You know what character that is? You know what character that is, Nash? And you walking up like it ain't no problem? You're a madman. You're a madman. All right, the easiest way to fix your positioning, and I'll answer your question in a second, Blood Moon. The easiest way to fix your positioning as a strategist, because honestly, keeping track of 6 characters is a lot. It's a lot. But the trick that I use, okay, here's a trick. You need to think about what characters are dangerous to you. If you think about what characters are dangerous to you, it actually narrows it down to how much focus you need to give to certain characters. Daredevil, dangerous to you. Hawkeye, dangerous to you. The rest, doesn't matter. Theoretically, they are dangerous, but they're not an imminent threat. This means you only need to pay attention to 2 characters. You only need to position to be able to avoid Hawkeye, and you only need to be able to run to avoid this guy. That means you only have 2 jobs instead of 6. So if you're a strat and you narrow it down like that, it's a lot easier for you to know how to play the game moving forward than trying to react to all 6 different characters, because it's just really hard to do. Okay. Wait, so are my jumps with Hulk too much? Because if so, I've been playing Hulk wrong all these. No. Don't think of it like that. Your jumps are fine. It's just that you're gonna start getting punished for doing it so much. You're gonna start noticing your HP is gonna drop. So I'm not saying fix it now, but when you run into that resistance of like, dude, every time I hop in, I just like I'm not getting healed. You'll start understanding what I mean by you're jumping too much. You'll need to actually slow it down in time when you hop in, and things like that. Look at you, Nash. Relax. Do you think because it's been missing, you just don't care? Like, what are you trying to do here? Maybe it's just an invisible woman thing. Okay. I'm not gonna say this is bad because it's not, but I want you to think about why you just did that. Take a look at how this unfolded real quick. We'll do it slow. Moon Knight just got dropped. Okay. All right, take it slow. Which characters are in imminent danger right now? Which characters need you to ult right now? None. Honestly, your support might ult. Your other support might ult when they get it. But you don't need it. You're chilling. You're chilling. I know why you did it though, because it did look like they needed it. But I'm a very selfish support, and I tend to really see if you need it or not. But you have to understand how much healing your character does before you learn how to do that. It's kind of the same when I play Cat in a sense. Like I know how much damage I can take before I might need heals. It's the same when you play Strat. I know you should know how much damage they can take and how much you can give them back in terms of health before you really think I need to ult right now. In that situation, I don't think you needed to ult. That guy's fighting for his life over there. Fog? All right. That's pretty good. All the gameplay felt calm. It didn't feel like it was all over the place. Be careful about pulling people to you, because there's a lot of times where I actually want her to pull me to the team, and then it just KOs the team. So don't just pull because you see somebody. If you want to think about it this way, if I pull you, can any of my teammates take advantage of the situation? If not, don't do it. Rather just save it to reposition and push people away from you. Hawkeye wasn't bothering me, so I just ignoring him. Valid. Well played. No! You did so good. Why did you ult? This is great. You could heal this. You could heal this. No! That was so good, Nash, until you ulted. That will. Nice. Nice. I like that. Smooth. Really calm gameplay. You're not really under pressure because they don't really have much divers. But whenever you do get dove, you tend to react accordingly. As I said, the only real thing is like the Hawkeye situation. But you're saying that, hey, this guy sucks, so I'm going to take advantage. By all means, that's how you're supposed to play. Whenever you notice someone's being bad, take advantage of it. So we know Moon Knight's there. You just need to retreat and get over here somehow. So that way you can play the game and not be pestered by that guy. Yeah, like that cloak and dagger. There you go. Yeah, just right there. Perfect. I done a little bit earlier because now you're in trouble because your team just got picked. But like, should your team have all been ready in there, going there would have been a better situation because Moon Knight wouldn't be able to hurt everybody at once. That's what we're really calling like aggressive positioning, where you're preemptively going somewhere before the fight really starts, so that way you're in a better position. You're ready to fight. Because right here, it's more of a passive, where it's like, we'll just go wherever, you'll just go wherever you kind of want to go, wherever your tank leads. But if you already know the fight's going to take place here, you could stand here. The fight's not going to take place anywhere else, right? And you're ready, especially against the Groot. I mean, he swapped, but if you were playing Groot, he'd wall up here behind Emma, but you're already chilling here. So Emma never gets in trouble. Just situations like that. No problem, Blood Moon. I actually have made a video talking about the fundamentals. I don't know if you're new to my channel, but you can watch it or skim through it if you like, but I'm gonna link it for you. I made a video talking about it. Just the general fundamentals of playing him. I used to main him a long time ago, but obviously I can't main every single character. But I went over the fundamentals of how you'd play this character and how you play Hulk. And Hulk mains definitely got something out of it. So I think you will too. If you haven't seen it. I'm doing a 0 to hero series. So basically I take every hero that you guys vote for and I play it in a match and I climb the ladder using those heroes. I don't actually main those heroes, obviously. You can't main every single character. But I know the fundamentals on the characters, which is why I'm able to teach it and all that extra good stuff. So my fingers might not be able to do it, but my brain can. And the goal of that series is to show how you can still win matches regardless of bajillions of hours on a character. So give it a check. Give it a check. Okay. But you can just, I'm only mentioning it because you can see that I don't hop around a lot as much as you do. Not because I can't, but I'm more deliberate with it. But that's also because I don't play in these ranks. You know, I play at higher ranks. But if you do that, you get punished really hard. So it's kind of hard to turn it off. I guess I'm not one of those typical, if I'm smurfing, I'll just stomp people game players. I still try to play the exact same way. How in the goofball did you survive that? What? He just whiff? Surely you get KO'd. Oh, that sucks. He can't really see. I mean, I say that sucks when you're the invisible man. I don't mean it like that. I was just meaning that's crazy that you survived that. Peace out, Blood Moon. Have a good dinner. Glad I can help you out. Yeah, see, kind of even right there when you pull for no reason. Other than, like, maybe just damage. Like, right there, for what? Even if he wasn't grabbed, for what? But you don't have the ability anymore for 8 seconds. What if you need it? What if you need it? And you use it again. But what if you need it? But what if you need it? So this is actually something, that was a good block by you, by the way. This is something that oh, that sucks for them. This is something that it's every invisible player that I've done a review for or coach, every single one, does not matter their rank. It is something that I always mention because it is spammed way too much. What you want to do is you can spam her other abilities, but be very careful about spamming that push and pull because you do not know when you need it. It's the same thing that I say with Luna's. When they start clapping, a lot of people spam it. But again, no matter the rank, I tell people you need to be a little bit more cautious because once that's down, it's down. Those are the... Usually every shot, it just has one ability like that. With Loki, it's pretty obvious, right? It's the lamp. You don't just throw that out willy-nilly, but it's just something to think about. But what's more important, using it there, not really getting much out of it, or waiting until you need it, right? So let's just say you know you don't need it, and then you use it and it accomplishes something. That's fine. But a lot of how it was used there was that I use it, and I'm not sure if it's going to accomplish anything, and I'm not sure if I'm going to need it. Nothing's wrong with using it, but just know in the back of your mind that I'm basically defenseless without this thing. And, you know, just play to that accordingly. That's all. That's all. I think we did some pretty solid replay reviews today. We've been here for 2 hours and 20 minutes. We're at a great time. That's so good. I'm proud of us today. That's going to be the last replay, of course. I don't really want these things to be too long because I don't want people to not be able to watch it. You know, I think an hour, 30 minutes to 2 hours, a pretty good stream time where you can go back and watch and maybe pick it up every now and then. But like if it were a stream of like 6 hours, it's like, bro, that's a lot of footage. So I tend to cut it down about like 2 hours. We made some great time today, especially because I could squeeze in people that wanted to be squeezed in. So I'm proud of today. Today was great. I don't know if I'll play again later tonight. We'll see. But I will probably play tomorrow morning or tomorrow around 12 p.m. Central. So overall, the ults weren't bad, but times were necessary. I actually think that you didn't have bad ults, but it's just it's hard to really put that one into words. It's like you spook yourself into thinking that you need to ult when you don't. It's not like you're panic ulting for you. It's like you're panic ulting for your team. But if you slowed it down for a second, you can see that nobody was really in danger. Unless you just wanted to stack ults to say that, well, you ult, I ult, which is fine if you use it properly. But if you can get away with like having them ult and then they get nothing out of it and you guys have 2 ults for the next fight, you automatically win. But I will say there's a caveat to that. If you wait too long, sometimes you might lose the fight, and I've done it before. So I'm not going to tell you to never ult, but really think about, do you need to match the ult? Do you need to use the ult? Because sometimes you do. But I think the most important thing right now is just the push and pull thing and the positioning in terms of just respecting people. But I think overall it was a pretty... Your gameplay was pretty calm. It didn't seem like you were panicking or fidgeting as much as other Invisible Woman players that I've seen. I don't know what to take out of that, honestly. I don't know why. Also, I just realized this is a piece of fruit. I thought this was a leaf she had in her hand. Random. Oh no, I just thought about it when I was looking at it. Looks like it's secondhand panic from my tanks. Yeah, that's what it looked like. It didn't look like you were scared. It looked like you were scared for them. But these characters have resistance, right? Like you have Thor who can get an overshield, who can survive for a very long time. You have Emma who can turn diamond. You have Cap who has a shield. You have Strange who has a shield. Mag. Like, so just because you think that they're about to get KO'd, unless it looks imminent, sometimes it can kind of get out the situation. Cloak and Dagger just ulted in front of them. I know Groot did a wall, so maybe that was kind of why you got spooked, but like realistically, they weren't really in danger yet. You can sense them getting spooked and react. That's interesting. Maybe that'll go away the higher you climb. Because I don't think I've ever felt like that, but I'm kind of like an a-hole when I play strat, so I'm not gonna lie. I'm an a-hole when I play strat, so couldn't be me. But if there's anybody else who ever has been in that situation where they feel like, well, you know, you can see that your tanks are starting to get a little scared and you decide to ult. I'm pretty sure they understand where you're coming from. That's a hard one, man. I don't even know. That's a hard one. Yeah, this is pretty much exactly what Lauren says. And Nash actually plays tank as well. So Nash has probably been in that same situation where it's kind of like, well, you didn't really, I was fine. You know what I mean? But this is why it's more important for you as a strat to notice these things so that you don't waste ults. Welcome back, American. Looks like Nash got his review. He did. Nash got it. That being said, though, they weren't bad ults, though, Nash. So it's not like if you were on my team and you ulted, I wouldn't be like, why did you ult? Oh my God. That wasn't a bad quote unquote ult. I would have questioned it without a doubt because I was fine, but I wouldn't be upset that you did that. So it wasn't a bad ult. It was just, you can get so much more value out of strategists if you can use your ults properly. Well, not properly, more efficiently. The more efficient you use your ults, the more team fights you're probably going to win. So it wasn't bad. Don't confuse that with like it being horrible. It wasn't. It was a great timing. It was at a great spot. It wasn't like it was underused. Just if you think that you could probably survive without ulting to save the ult for the next fight, do so. But if you truly in your gut thinks like you need to ult, then ult. Because like I said, there's many times where I don't ult and my team gets wiped and I'm like, I should have ulted. I should have ulted. Which time do we have left? I don't have comp unlocked. How did they not tell me how much time we have left, bro? I'm livid. Oh, does the battle pass tell you? 12 days. When tanking, I don't need a support ult a lot, but I don't trust my tanks not to die sometimes. Now I just need to convert my decent ults into great ults. Yeah, pretty much that's it. Yeah, I can't do it, but I can see from the battle pass. Yeah, pretty much that's it, Nash. Like I said, you're gonna have to kind of get used to it because it's not something where it's like you'll be right every time. But a lot of the times, I mean, we can't see my replays because this isn't my account, obviously. But a lot of the times when you see me play Mantis, I either ult proactively or I ult for a specific reason. I don't necessarily always ult because they ult. More often than not, it's usually for another reason. I usually try to let the support burn through their ult and then I do something with mine rather than like, I'm using it to match. So, you know. Hey, can you review one of my games? I'm a sport main trying to get better. If you like a review, make sure you put it in my Discord under the free reviews tab. We do them every Saturday. But we're going to call it today because we don't want this stream to be too long and we've got through a pretty decent chunk of reviews. But yeah, if you want your replay review, make sure you check out the Discord and put it there. Also, welcome. Good to see you. Thank you guys for watching, of course. Again, sorry, Nash, for deleting your replay, but I'm glad you were able to get it back. I hope taking down the Christmas lights wasn't interrupted. Have a good night, you guys. Happy New Year once again. I'll most likely stream tomorrow, but we'll see. Until next time, you know what I always say. You guys are doing what? Often. Will often. Peace. Late.